All right, Lee, as promised, I thought I'd shoot a video real quick just to show you how I connected a VFD to my Harrison lathe. Sorry, it's a little messy. I was working on a project, didn't have time to clean up. Anyway, so just to demonstrate, some of this stuff isn't quite stock. I put a master power switch down here to just shut everything off. I also added a speed control. This is still the flood coolant pump, and this is the emergency shutoff as came with it, and there's always a pilot light here. So anyway, I just made it so that powers up the circuits in the lathe. This is my VFD up here. I'm using a Mitsubishi. Works great. So I'm running it with 240 volts. So I'll just show you the demonstration of the operation real quick. So as you can see, you just go down here, and there she goes. And then as you can see, foot brake still works as normal. Machine can't turn back on until you re-engage, just like it was designed. Throw it back in, there it goes. Still got your safety switch here on the chuck guard. Shuts off if that's not in, it won't engage. Again, it shuts off, won't re-engage until you flip this thing back up again and then shove it back down. Here's reverse function right there. Just as intended, you can shut it off with this by going in the middle, or by stepping on the thing, or tripping any of the safety circuits. There's one more on this cover that shuts everything off. And then obviously, if you need to, you've got the emergency shut off. That works too. So that's how it's designed to work from the factory. So I'm going to show you how we went about doing that. It looks complicated, but it's not. So here we go. Going to come on down here to the cabinet. So here's the cabinet. The way this was designed is there's two screws that hold this door shut right here and here. I took these out for the video. When you shut this off, it then allows this door to open. So the way this was designed from the factory, this is the master shut off. So there's no power in here when that's powered off. It's a good thing. Anyway, I know there's a lot going on here, but it's really simple. Right here is kind of the secret to this. So this is a transformer that takes the three-phase power that are coming in and converts it to single phase, either 240 or 120. You'll have to look on your machine where these are actually connected up to. All the switching gear in my machine, it works on 120 volts. So the easiest way to go about doing this was I just took the transformer out and powered the switching gear just from 120 volts out of the wall, which we have here in America. So your machine's probably got 240 volt coils for everything. So it'd be easy if you just powered it from the 240 volts from the wall, cut out the three-phase part, and then the only thing running on the three-phase would be from your VFD, which is the motor. So that's already been done for you. So you'll find two red wires. There's this one right here, which was originally connected into this side of the fuse, which was powered by the transformer into here. I've put a switch on these two leads, which is that switch up there, to turn the master controls on and off. So I put a switch in there, and then this neutral lead, which is the other red wire, which is hooked on this board somewhere on yours, just goes to the neutral, back to the wall. Really simple. These three wires here go to the potentiometer that I mounted on the panel. That goes back to the VFD to control speed control. So let me go throw it into forward, and I'll show you how we acquired forward. So this orange relay is the safety circuit. When that's in, that means all the circuits are closed. It's ready to engage forward or reverse. As soon as one of the circuits gets interrupted, you see how it popped out? That then shuts down the machine and won't allow it to restart until that's reset. So that's all came from Harrison from the factory that way. So you don't worry about any of that and just leave it alone. So here we go. What we do is when I put it into forward, throw the lever down. You heard the relays engage. The reason the head's not spinning is because the master's shut off here. But I have power in the cabinet because I'm powering it from my wall with this 120 volt lead. I added one relay right here. So what I did is I piggybacked the coil. This contactor down here engages for forward. So I also with the power signal coming in here to close this contactor, which is these little red wires on the bottom here, I hooked another red wire to this extra relay. All this relay does is close and then give the start command on the other contacts of the relay back to the VFD to start sending power. That's all it does. When I go to reverse, you're going to see another relay up here that does the exact same thing, except it's for the reverse coil. So what's going to happen is that one's going to pop out, that one's going to engage. That's what reverses the machine. I hooked another red wire from here to this relay that does the same thing. You could actually eliminate this relay and run them both off this. You could have hooked this red wire to that, or no, you can't do that because it'd close them both. So you don't. That's why I have two separate ones. So when this one closes, it closes that relay, which again gives the same signal though back to the VFD. So let me show you. I'll flip it back the other way. So when I throw the handle up like that, that's telling the machine we want to go in reverse now. So notice this coil here has gone in and that one's now out. See? They're interlocked together as well. This one is just for the coolant pump. You can see it go in and out when I flip the switch on there. Anyway, notice this relay is on because it's powered off of this relay here. So I just have it powering the coil in this relay up here, which then I use the other set of contacts to simply close, tell the VFD to start. That's all there is to it. All the rest of the switching has already been done from the factory. It'll work just like it did from the factory originally. So that's kind of the long and the short of it. This is the breaker that controls all the switching gear here. If you shut this off, it disengages this down here. Throw it back in. Re-energizes. The reason this didn't go back in is because the handle was still engaged up there, so I'd have to bring it back to off position before it would go back in. So as soon as I go back to the off position, you'll hear a click down there in the cabinet. Heard it click in. We go back down. Notice it's re-energized, so now it's ready to give the start commands. And the reason I added the power switch is I just didn't want this to be powered 24/7. So I figured that might be kind of hard on it. Probably doesn't matter, but anyways, just so there's not power running that constantly keeping it in. These are all your thermal contactors for the motor start. This one runs the flood coolant pump. This one's for reverse. That one's for forward. Pretty simple. Just make sure they're 240 volts. Mine had the 480 versions in because this machine came out of a shop that was wired for 480, so I had to change these out with the 240 volt version. Other than that, pretty straightforward, honestly. I think that's about it. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit. If you have questions, take some pictures. Happy to look at it, and I can show you exactly the connections to make. Like I said, it looks like a lot's going on. It's really simple. There's two red wires that are hooked into here and here. You'll unhook those two. You can leave one hooked here if you don't even want to put a switch in. Just hook power here and unhook the other one and hook it to your neutral like I did. And boom, now all your switching gear is powered. So now if you want it to then control the VFD, I would just get two relays to control the VFD and just piggyback them on these two guys down here. And you'll control the VFD just with these two on your auxiliary relays that you add. Easy peasy. All right, good luck. Congrats on the purchase. Want to see it? Be awesome once you get it going. I need to post a video one of these days how to look at the accuracy of my machine. But anyway, this is what mine looks like. It's not perfect, but gets the job done. I just wish it was a little bit better in this area. I'll post another video about that one of these days. Since I'm in lockdown, I have a lot more extra time on my hands. All right, congrats, buddy. Take care.